The absolutely kick-ass Lego Batman movie storms onto home video June 13th, 2017. Click the affiliate link below for more information. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel. And I'm mad at this story because god damn it, what the fuck is happening to my city? So, for those of you who don't know, I grew up in Portland, Oregon. I moved to California in the late 90s, moved back 2 years ago, and now I'm living in Washington. But Portland, for the majority of my life, has been my home. I love that city. It is a beautiful, very gorgeous city, and one that I don't even recognize anymore due to the amount of left-leaning, liberal, social justice bullshit that is not only permeating heavily in pockets in that particular city, but it's plaguing the fucking streets. You have Antifa setting shit on fire in the middle of the day. I went to the Not My President protest on its 5th consecutive night just to go watch high school kids get fucking flashbanged by the cops because they were bored with nothing else to do. I have nothing against people wanting to protest for things that they're passionate about, but there comes a time when you're protesting something turns into a witch hunt. And this isn't just on the SJW side. This is also on the other side too. And I have talked about that before, but this is where it just gets crazy. So you have one of the things Portland has been doing more with is, like, you know, food trucks. Food trucks are really popular in the downtown section, but they've kind of been like expanding outwards into different parts of the city, mostly because the city has been cracking down. Well, not so much cracking down. The lots where these food trucks operate have been getting sold to other companies that want to then put like high rises there, or apartment buildings or condominium buildings. This is because Portland is seeing an increase of 300 people per day. Just Portland is seeing that level of increase. And these people are coming in from all over the world wanting to move to the last great oasis in the United States, which is the Pacific Northwest. So sadly, it ain't going to get much better. So food carts have been kind of doing whatever, and they're very popular in the city. And a couple girls, couple white girls, that's the key thing to the story, by the name of Wilgus and Liz Connelly, otherwise known as LC. Okay. They decided that they wanted to open up their own taco truck after they went to Puerto Vallarta and they had what they considered the best tortillas ever. They were so enamored by these tortillas that they wanted to learn how to make them themselves. And so they started talking to different women who were making it. They learned what ingredients went into it. They learned as much as the women were willing to teach them. And then by their own admission, and this is definitely what caused them lots of problems, they told the anecdotal story about how they were peeking in windows and looking at how the bread was being made or how the tortillas are being made. And, you know, and now they're being accused of cultural appropriation and stealing POC's recipes, or women of color's recipes. I'm not even kidding you. It's ridiculous shit, right? The story is probably anecdotal to the sense of that it's a humorous way of telling it. Is, you know, we were there, we loved the food, we wanted to make it at home, we wanted to turn it into a business here in the United States, we wanted to learn their recipes, so on and so forth. The problem here is that you have two white girls opening up a taco truck by the name of Kooks Taco, and then getting blasted for telling this anecdotal tale, right? The way that they told it, you could tell was very much lighthearted in nature. It was like, we wanted to know so much about this, we would stop at nothing to get it. So we just peeked our heads in, we looked in like a groundhog on February 2nd, looking to see what they're going to do. And then we learned it and we took that back home and we made it into our own thing. And they're being accused of, again, cultural appropriation. They're being accused of stealing women of color's recipes and you know, whatever, races, everything under the fucking sun, right? Because they're stealing the livelihoods of these women of color that are not even going to come to the United States at all. They live in Puerto Vallarta. They were, you know, why would they leave a heavy tourist area where they can sell unlimited tortillas to gringos and gringas, where they make okay money in that particular part of the world? And why? Like, why? They're good where they are. Like, no one ever thinks to ask them what they think. This is all this is all virtue signaling on behalf of these women, of whom they're never going to meet, of whom they're never going to talk to. No one got on a flight and traveled down to Puerto Vallarta to meet these women to ask them their opinion. But they sure as fuck got mad for them. And that is the problem with social justice warriors. That's the problem with the regressive left. It's that constant virtue signaling. It's that constant nature of, I have to be offended for somebody else because I cannot formulate my own opinions on a matter. Look, everything comes from something else. Everything comes from something else, right? Nothing on this earth is created whole cloth by itself, right? My cell phone right here. My cell phone is made up of a multitude of different parts and materials that all came from something else. We take, we adapt, we build off of that. Again, using this is the Samsung Galaxy S7. This is an evolution of the Samsung Galaxy 6. And its successor is the Samsung Galaxy S8. These are all evolutions on these things. People take and they build off of everything all the time. But because it's tortillas, that aren't even like an uncommon thing, right? They want to get upset. Now, what cracked me up the most about this was the interview that the women gave in the Willamette Weekly was picked up through an op-ed by a woman who writes for the Portland Mercury, which is kind of an offshoot of the Willamette Weekly. And she blasted them for cultural appropriation, right? Which is funny. I took a look at her Twitter, and she's very much like hashtag Ebony wins, all pro BLM stuff. So she's coming at this from definitely a regressive, social justice mindset, because she knows that's what's going to pay the bill. So her taking an interview, taking an anecdotal story and turning it into this cultural appropriation witch hunt, demonized these two women, demonized these two entrepreneurs, and cost them their truck. They had to shut it down because they were getting just lambasted with all these claims of cultural appropriation. And the thing that really angers me about this story is when I moved back to Portland, I was talking with my sister, and she wanted to start her own taco truck. My girlfriend and my sister were talking about the possibility of working on it together. My other cousin was even talking with my sister at times about working on this. And my sister, a little white girl, wanted to make carne asada fries. She wanted to make carne asada burrito. She wanted to serve Mexican food. And the reason why is because she loves to cook. And part of her loving to cook is she loves to cook Mexican food. We lived in California for over a decade. She loves Mexican food, authentically made Mexican food. And she wanted to open up her own cart. And I sent her this story. I sent her this to her today. I said, I'm very glad you didn't open this up. I'm really glad you didn't do this, because this is something that probably would have happened to you in Portland. Would it happen to you in other cities? Probably not. But in Portland, this would have been a thing. And that might be selfish of me to say to my sister. That might be me being that protective older brother, going like, I don't want you to be hurt, but I still want her to follow her dreams. I still would want her to make this food. And she wants to do it in a city that is very open to food carts. Her response back was, well, she would have hired Mexicans, to come and work in the kitchen and whatnot. But that's not even enough. That's the whole thing. That's what I didn't get a chance to tell her. Even that wouldn't be enough, right? If you are a gringo opening up a taco cart and you're hiring Mexicans, you're going to be accused of not only appropriating their culture, but having your foot on the back or the neck of minorities who are completely underprivileged in this country. Never mind the fact that you're an entrepreneur who's hiring people, providing a service, and also paying for a job. It doesn't matter to these people. It doesn't matter to those that are getting upset at this kind of shit. They don't understand that everything is an adaptation of something else. Everything is an evolution of something else. It drives me up the fucking wall. It drives me up the wall, because they didn't go and like these are all like, these are all people that want to be mad about something else. These are people that all want to be upset about something else. They don't give a shit about what damage they cause. They want to destroy somebody else's life because it makes them feel better. I don't know about you, but that seems like a sociopathic trait. And then ultimately, looking at the idea of what is a social justice warrior is usually someone who is a borderline sociopath, all while trying to act outwardly as a person who wants justice and equality in the world. But with equality, you have to remember that it's a two-way street. Equality is absolutely a two-way street. Equality, it's an ebb and flow. As long as everyone is equal with that ebb and flow, then it's ebb and flow. No one's going to have everything at the same time. No one ever, period. You have to be willing to give and take in order for everyone to progress ahead. It's one of those situations that no one ever actually wants to sit down and work on, because that would go against their own narrative. It's just sad. It's sad that a startup business was shut down because a woman with a blog thought that it was cultural appropriation from just reading an anecdotal story about two women who went on a trip down to South America, or well, Mexico, and looked in windows, peeking in, going, oh, how do they make it? And accusing them of thievery, accusing them of cultural appropriation, and destroying their livelihood, and probably prompting them to never once again undergo an entrepreneurial endeavor, to keep them relegated to corporate culture, to working for somebody else's dream, because the last time they had their own dream, it was squashed by people who attacked them based on a story. Not one that they could even really prove themselves and didn't even care to, didn't even try. That's the world that Portland has become. And it's sad because I really love that city. It's horrible that this is what's happening. And unfortunately, I don't know any way to stop it outside of just calling it the fuck out when you see it, but doing it in a way that they can't use against you, which is hard to do because, oh my God, if you don't look them in the eye, that's a microaggression. You don't look, and they'll write blogs and think pieces about how you're microaggressing them because you didn't look them in the eye and shit. Like, that's the world. Everything to these people is a slight against humanity. And it's not even humanity. It's a slight against them that they only get mad at because they want to feel something. And that just shows you how wholly empty their own existences truly are. So they put that hurt and that pain on other people who ultimately did nothing wrong. But what are your guys' thoughts about this? Let me know in the comments below. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel. If you have issues with anything I've said here, leave in the comment box. It should be fun. Anyway, if you guys do like the video, toss it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and slap on that subscribe. If you want to support the channel, links below in the video description, like Patreon, PayPal. You might have seen the Amazon affiliate link in the front of this thing. Really does help me out right now. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day, and peace out.